Hi everyone, this video we're going to show how to power 5 of these, not 5 Volca FMs but 5 Volcas, all the different sorts. I'm going to show you a product that will power them, that's not battery and it's not a wall wart. I'm also going to show you how to make these cables, and I might have a bit of a play with the 5 Volcas running at the same time at the end. All this in just a sec. This is how many batteries you would need if you were to power 5 Korg Volcas. 30. And you can imagine the cost for 30 batteries. The recommended power supply, according to the Korg website, which I looked up today, is the KA350. This one I got out of my ARP Odyssey, Korg ARP Odyssey, which I keep nicely packed away. Now, because I'm in Australia, it's got the Australian adapter. I mean, what Muppet designs a power supply that plugs in sideways? But you can see there is the 1.7 millimeter plug. Now, I've also got a mini log. That's the mini log power supply. Gee, it's also a 350, a KA350. Here's a power board. Most people use these power boards. This one's got the extra wide spot for the wall warts, but silly Muppet designer at Korg put them sideways. Imagine if you had 5 of these. You can't turn them. They're not, I can't put that there. I can't what am I supposed to do? It's just stupid. Anyway, if you were to buy what Korg recommends, the 5 power supply for each Volca, you'd end up with 5 of these. Sigh. So when you do have these Korg Volcas, there's the sample, the base, there's the keys, there's the beats, and there's the new one, the Volca FM. So when you've got each one of these 9 volts, you need to power them somehow. And what makes it worse is 9 volts center positive. Most guitar pedal type setups are center negative. So you'll see in here there's a little symbol. If I can show you closely. Here there's a little symbol there that says plus, and it's pointing to the center, which means, for those who don't know, that means center positive. For those who do know, just ignore that bit. Anyway, so let's move these out the way. I did a bit of research on the market and I found this little beauty. Made by a company called One Spot. They do multi-type output guitar pedal type things. I've got another one. But this one, what's so beautiful about this is it's an isolated power multiple output. And if you look on the front, you will see that we have multiple outputs. Across this side you'll see that there's 18 volt. See that symbol next to the 18V? That just means DC, and you'll notice that's 100 milliamps, 2 of those. Then we've got 9 volts, 9 volts, 9 volts, 9 volts, 9 volts. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gee, that's pretty handy considering there are 5 Volcas. And 100 milliamps. Will that be enough power? Also, you might want to notice too, you can switch this to a 12 volt too. And on the other side here, you've also got some more 9 volt outlets. You've got 2 250 milliamps and 2 500. And you've also got an AC outlet here with the red. Not only that, but this is all switchable. So we can run 12 or 9 volt switches here, and 4 to 9 or 9 volt switches here, with this little dip switch set up here. The whole thing runs off a kettle plug, which means there's actually a proper power supply built into this, and this just literally just plugs straight into the wall. That means I can run my four Korg Volcas off of one power point. But here is the problem. The problem is now, how do I go from this unit, which is standard DC type plug, to center positive, because this is all center negative. And in fact, according to this manual here, it does say that they're all center negative, but the standard connector is a 2.1 millimeter. They do give you a whole bunch of multiple type power outlets. There's a heap of these in here. There's even battery terminal ones, and this all comes, there's even adapters. This all comes with it, but none of these are any useful to me at all, because none of them are center positive. In the meantime, whilst that was happening, I ordered off of eBay. These are great. That is your Sony or 1.7 millimeter to a standard DC. And if you get your standard DC type plugs, they will fit straight in. And you get your Volca, and that just goes straight in like that. So it does stick up a bit. Unfortunately, it sticks up a little bit. I mean, that can be a little bit annoying, but it's no worse than an audio cable sticking up. I mean, that's really not getting in the way. And they're quite tight, I've noticed. These ones made in China. Anyway, so my job now is I'm going to get some cable, which is this two-tone cable. This is rated at 2 amps, so it's no problem at all. I can do 100 milliamps off across this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire up one plug times 2, one at each end. And I'm just going to swap with this cable which side it plugs into. So basically, if I open this up, and we're using this cable, so the black and the grey, right? So on this side I'll put the black there and the grey there, and on the other side I'll put the grey there and the black there, so it swaps it over. And then that's the way, and I'll label these so I won't forget, but that's the way I'll be able to make a center negative to center positive adapter. Then that becomes handy because I've got other devices that will run center positive, like for example the Korg Volcas, so that will help for that. But if I want to plug the Volca in, it's just an adapter straight in. So that solves that problem, and it's a little bit more robust because I'm using the dual strand, the adapter, and we're using standard DC 2.1 millimeter plugs. Okay, all of this stuff I got off of eBay relatively cheap. So there's a pack of all of this stuff here. The wire I got from my local electronics store. Anyway, enough about that. I'll do a quick wire up job, I'll show you how that's done, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at how that works for us. Okay, so here is one of the cables I've already made up, and I've got the adapter plugged on the end of it, and just chuck it in the Volca, no problem at all. Alright, so just a quick show of how I'm doing it. One side, so you'll see the black strip goes to this long side here, and on the opposite end you'll see this is pre-solder too, so you'll see the black strip goes to the short end here, so it's completely swapping over. Also, just a tip for those who aren't really used to doing this sort of stuff. This is pre-solder, so I haven't soldered this yet. When you put your cables together, you must always put your cap on the wire first before you solder, which is there. And I'm using a bit of heat shrink just to, I'll show you what it looks like in a sec, but a bit of heat shrink. So the heat shrink has to go on first. Heat shrink, cap, and then the wire. I'll solder that in a sec, just to show you what the heat shrink looks like once you actually shrink it. I don't know, you don't have to do it, but I just thought it just finished that off a little bit more solid and just feels a little bit more like it's going to last for me. So I've got 4 more to go. One's nearly finished. I'll come back to you when I've done them all. Always a good idea to test these before you put the heat shrink on, because that way you can undo this if you've got any problems with your soldering, and you can fix it. And so before you do the heat shrink, just test it to see if it works. There's another one. I'll do the heat shrink for that one later. Alrighty, so we've done them all. That was the one I showed you guys before, so we'll plug that one in, turn that on. We can't do that yet. We need all of our little adapters. Geez, they're tight. I have noticed that they do loosen up a little bit. I don't want to snap that. Oh, that'll be a nightmare. Okay, we got 5. Now this is one of the sort of last ones I did, so I actually compared that to that, the heat shrink work. This is the newer one here. Got a little bit better, didn't I? Anyway, we have power. So that's 1. Okay, so here it is all hooked up, and I've tried really hard to try and make these cables neat, but it's about the best as I can for now. I'll have a bit of a think about how to route all these cables in a nicer way later. Just for the video's sake though, we're just trying to get all these Volcas just in the frame here. Anyway, I'm going to have a bit of a noodle.
In the beginning, there were analog sounds. They were analog synths.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Just wanted to let you know a quick thing about my channel. It's a synth and electronics type tech channel. It's not sponsored by anyone. I do it all off my own bat. All the gear that you see on here is owned by me. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Please do subscribe. As you know, it's not a commercial thing that I'm doing here. I'm just doing it in my part-time. It's a bit of fun, and I do hope you enjoy it. So hope to see you soon.